Good evening, everybody. Apologies about that. My mic decided to have a little bit of a hissy fit, but welcome along to round number 5 of the P1 tier, season 28 for One Hub Racing. And we head to the Hungary, the home of the Iron Curtain, and we know this track as Monaco without the barriers or the walls. My name is GeForce, and joining me once again is someone that knows very well how to win around this track. We've got Jamie. Jamie, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm very good. How are you all doing? Yeah, looking forward. This should be another fantastic race. Yeah, looking forward to seeing how these fast boys take this Hungarian circuit. We've had 3 cracking races already this season. It's already tonight, sorry, and looking forward to seeing how this one goes again now.
Yes, 3 fantastic races and no safety cars for any of the tiers, which I was quite surprised about because I almost guaranteed there was going to be a safety car, but we did not get any safety cars in any of the tiers. So well done to every single driver that has raced in at the tiers so far tonight. And we had a debut winner as well of Kinney, which is always exciting. And we always like first-time winners in the league. So well done to Kinney. But we have got 16 drivers raring to go to race around this circuit, and we've got Kevin who's leading the championship quite comfortably over Lakito, but Lakito also doing well in second place. It will be interesting to see how those two fare around here, but we know looking at the practice times for Kevin, he is looking very quick, so it's going to be tough, I think, for anyone to beat Kevin tonight, but we have seen him struggle before and anything can happen.
Yeah, you have to say Kevin has to be very difficult he's going to get to in all 4 races, so if you have to say he has to be the big favourite. We've seen guys get close to him on certain tracks, and obviously he's still a bit more vulnerable in races, but I've seen qualifying he is the man to be, and I can't wait to see what he does around here. Obviously our poll in the P2 tier was a 15-0, so I expect these guys to get well into the 14s, so if they want to have poll, I expect the poll to be probably a mid to low 14.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to see currently at the moment. We have got drivers that are on laps, so without further ado, let's head to the circuit. We'll see who's on a lap first. Again, apologies for the delay because of the mic issues, but there we go, we have got it. So Colin is just about to finish his lap then as he makes his way in towards the final set of corners. I can't remember what corner it is on the top of my head. Turn 13 as he closes up to the half. Hopefully that doesn't give him too much of a blocking, which he doesn't, as Colin goes up to the line. It's going to give him a nice tail, actually. 1:15.9 for Colin, and we know he could go even quicker. Next to come across the line is, well, I thought it was a Mercedes of Kevin, but it is Senna, one of our picks for the race victory tonight, but he's gone into the pits as well. The home favourite, Axelot, goes fast, but then Logan goes even quicker. The times are going thick and fast here in the P1 tier, as we just had a spin from Roadbite in the background. We thought he wasn't going to make it tonight, but he is here.
Yeah, Roadbite.
Yeah, he is here tonight. Kevin, though, goes up to the line again. Another person who did a hot lap. We'll see if he can go fastest by quite a bit. A 14.8 already for Kevin. Already smashed the P2 pole time.
Yeah, great to see there. Fantastic from there. Marco was 15-0 inside that lap as well, yeah. But yeah, Kevin, good bank from there. And I think Marco back that. We were 2 times Kevin the first one. I think that should give him some confidence. See how he's going to progress later. And obviously, we yet to see the likes of Lakito, who's probably been the second best qualified this season. So I think Lakito may be the guy who may be able to threaten Kevin's pole. There's a few guys, obviously, they came in. I assume they involved in the first lap, so there's no point continuing. So they come in the pits and just save a bit of time. Obviously, you can easily do 4 runs around it. It's not a major issue, but if you're going to validate, no point finishing lap. You might as well come in and just have a bit of a breather.
Yeah, Curry being one of them. He has come into the pit lane because unfortunately he invalidated his run, and that is it then. It's important if you do get a good run in qualifying because that could set you up for the race then. This first Hungarian Grand Prix was held in 1986. It's had quite a few changes since then. The most recent changes were back in 2003. Lewis Hamilton has been the most successful driver around this circuit 8 times. I wonder if anyone's going to do that around at One Hub Racing. Probably not. And it's also been a track which has produced first-time winners. Of course, we saw that with Kine today. Will we see a first-time winner in the P1 tier on a Hungarian? Because it's quite common. Damon Hill, of course, in 1993. He almost won in 97 in the Arrows, which was quite surprising. But he had a hydraulics issue. We saw Jensen Button in 2006 and Heikki Kovalainen in 2008. It's only win for McLaren. Not many people could say that person has won a race around the Hungarian, but I could because I had some notes about it. So there we go. It is overcast to light cloud here this afternoon for the adaptive weather system, as a road bike got a bit very squirmy on the exit curbs, but luckily it's only his outlap.
Yeah, the other for me, obviously, one way to get your tyres up temperature, I guess, but not ideal then. But yeah, you still got, so looking to get a lap time on the board. Obviously, 10 guys set a lap time on board, 7 guys haven't. So these guys are under pressure a bit behind. They've got you don't want to be leaving it too late, because if you leave it too late, then the last one, you can't go full send. So these guys, I think, looking to just get a lap time on the board, and they'll have 2 more runs where they can go off even further. So pressure on these 7 at the back to really get it going, as around here qualifying is so critical, because overtaking it's one of the most difficult tracks on the ground to overtake on. There's only so if you qualify further down the grid, then you're going to be in deep trouble.
Yes, and we've seen that make a difference in the lower tiers, especially where people that qualify lower down, apart from some exceptions, they were struggling to even get some moves in the race. So we'll see what everyone can do around this circuit, including this man, ERT Senna. He couldn't make Silverstone, but he's here tonight. He feels pretty happy around this circuit, and his teammate, of course, well, that's going to help him quite massively. But we are going to see if Senna can mount a challenge to get the podium. Colin thinks he can. So Senna might want a bit of faith in himself as he heads towards the line. Here he comes in P2, a 1:14.9. Well, Colin, I want to ask you for lottery numbers, my friend, because I think you got that prediction spot on. We got more drivers on the finishing their routes, including both of the McLarens. Casper's unfortunately invalidated final corner, which does mean he has to go into the pits, and that is awful if you invalidate final corner, because it invalidates your next one as well. Yeah, no, and you pass the pit lane, you got to do the whole in lap as well. It's just so frustrating doing that. There's a Lakita going to cost line now. What can he do? Callum also just joined there late on. He's good to see him in. And Lakita goes 4th with a 15.1, 3 temps off pole there, but a nice solid banker there for Lakita. He can push on from that, and so Callum has rejoined during qualifying. So we got 17 tonight, which is a good turnout, good to see. And obviously Callum did originally sign out, but he did manage to get in for the race, which is good, as we saw a bit of a Friday moment there, but it didn't really affect Callum too much, I don't think. No, it didn't, which I'm kind of relieved about at the moment. The annoying things is it's telling me that they're on 0 lap of softs, but they're not, which is weird. So it's going to be hard to tell if people are on laps or not. But Axelot came across the line. I think he just improved to a 15.2, which puts him into P5. One of my bold predictions was Axelot's going to get a podium, but he did have the pace to be on the podium quite a few races this season. And Hungary, of course, he goes to that track quite a lot in real life, so we'll hopefully he could use that real life experience to his advantage. Marco also in the 1:15s, close to the 1:40s, and he goes second fastest, just beat Senna by 4/100ths of a second. He'll take that in a heartbeat. Logan goes up into P4, not quite in the 14s. Yeah, we've got some fast drivers in this tier. If you thought P2 was fast, oh my ravioli, P1 is even faster.
Yeah, and obviously Axelot 6th in his home Grand Prix. Obviously, we've got 2 Hungarian drivers in the team with Moki and Axelot. He hope to do all his home race. So he's had a few good results at the moment. He's getting back in them top 6s, and Axelot, after a difficult start of the season, he's now starting to show some form again. And what he does, I think, he just doesn't make too many mistakes in a race. He just makes quiet progress through the field. So yeah, we'll see if Axelot can continue his good form and maybe fight for a podium, which may be difficult with how quick the guys' head are. But yeah, Axelot doing well at the moment in 6th.
Yeah, I think he's keeping it relatively clean route there at the moment, so we'll see what he could do. Now just came across the line. He is unfortunately invalidated on his lap time, which I think is going to cost him quite a bit of time, so that's a bit unfortunate. So everyone then has done most runs here, apart from our bottom 3. Of course, we've got quite a few drivers taking engine and gearbox penalties. Not as much as the lower divisions, but still quite a few. And when I was reading them in the pre-race talk show with Colin earlier on, I was shocked as to how many people took engine and gearbox penalties. Gearbox I can understand. Of course, Bonyfish, I think, managed to finish 4th in the engine P3, if I remember. So still, that was a decent result, a good recovery there. But engine, I think I've seen a majority of people that have taken engine penalties tonight, their results have not gone in their favour. So I think the ones who have got engine penalties tonight in P1, they were probably looking at the lower tier races and think, I probably shouldn't have taken my engine penalty at this track.
Yeah. No, yeah, we had it in P4 tier where I think Reaper actually set the pole position time in the P4 tier, but obviously he started 11th with his penalty and he didn't have a good race. He sort of got involved in instance where if he was on pole, he maybe could have won the race. But that's the jeopardy of the gearbox. You have to take it one race, and obviously he may have thought it might be a good track for him, but sometimes it's a bit of luck sometimes involved as well, you know. But Hungary is a track where I wouldn't take it really, because it's a track where you just get stuck in a train, and for sector 2 you just can't overtake. You get stuck behind the car in sector 2. We saw it in the other tiers. If you get stuck behind the car in sector 2, then literally you can lose 2 seconds a lap, especially if on dead tyres. So yeah, this is probably the least. This is a track where I would take it least out any. So yeah, but obviously some guys prefer it different, and it can work, but. I say gearbox not too bad, but engine around it, I just don't think.
Yeah, the gearbox can work.
That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, gearbox could work. We've seen it work in the lower divisions where they started quite low down but still managed to finish quite well because of capitalising on other people's mistakes. But engine, definitely not. But Craggy, of course, had a very decent race last time out in the P1 team, making his appearance since he last became champion in the P1 tier. He finished 4th last time out, I believe, in Silverstone. He was very happy with that, and to be honest, probably had a lot of good pace compared to everyone else around him. We'll see where he qualified. He's usually a good qualifier in the F124 game. I wonder if that's going to translate to the F125 game. He's also racing realistic, but unfortunately he got very unlucky. He's got very unlucky here. Commentator's curse, Craggy. I do apologise, but he is not was happy with his lap at all. Senna goes up to the line though. Can he improve on a 1:14.9? He improves only slightly, and he's 2/100ths of a second slower than Marco at the moment. We got a few more people on laps. I believe we got Robot just came across the line. He goes in and 2/7 fastest. We've got Wanda Williams goes up to the line. That might be Mert, I think. No, Mert is in P8 at the moment. Marco, Marco's just about to start his lap. Never mind. So we're at the really tail end of this Grand Prix qualifying as Alex has left the session. Not ideal, but so some people that left it very late to do their next run, and we've seen some people that try to go for 4 runs and not work. I tried it earlier on, it didn't work. 3 runs is what it works around it as Kevin. Wow. 6/10 of a second separating himself from Marco. He is on a mission. I think if anyone could beat that lap time, then I'll be shocked. But Kevin is looking like he's the favourite for pole position, but maybe not my favourite to win the race, because we've seen time and time again. I think maybe apart from P2 tier, the one who
second.
Yeah, at slot P2, that's very good for him. Necessarily though, the one who puts it on pole doesn't necessarily win the race. P4, the driver who put it on pole, didn't win the race. P3 tier, the one who put it on pole, didn't win the race. But to be fair, he got very unlucky. P2 tier, I think it was Kinnaid that put it on pole. He won the race, so that's the only exception to the rule. So I wonder if we can see the 2 higher divisions have the exception. Oh no, it was Alexa, wasn't it? Never mind.
So
Alexa. all three tiers have had
pole,
all 3 tiers have had some unluckiness from their pole sitters tonight. So for Kevin, he's gonna hope that the unluckiness doesn't fall on his shoulders tonight.
Yeah, no, but to say a 4/10 gap's amazing. I think if one guy can break that curse, it's definitely Kevin, because he just looks on fire. So he got a lucky one the race this season where a safety car did bail him out from a possible a really bad finish in Australia, where he forgot about the 1-2 stop rule and the safety car just basically bailed him out. But apart from that, he has been on form all season. The worst finish is 2nd place, and the guy is just amazing, and he's a huge favourite at championship. And the guy's behind, you can see Alex obviously disconnected for session. I think getting in, and he's got enough time to come in, I think, to do a lap, has he? It's going to be tight. I have sent him an invite. I'll send him another invite, see if he can get back in. But this is not good news for Alex being at the back of the grid. One of the championship contenders who's dropped out of form a little bit of late, but he's still capable of, I think, giving him a run for his money. I think Lakeith was probably the biggest threat, but he hasn't really got a good lap on the board yet. I expect him to improve on his final run.
Nikita not in the 1:14, which I'm quite shocked about, but the person that could get in the 1:14 is Casper. Not quite, though. He goes into the 1:15.177. That's going to be, I think, his qualifying done. So I think there's no way he's going to get a lap done towards the end of qualifying. Let us know your predictions, everybody, in the chat on who you think is going to get pole position for tonight's Hungarian Grand Prix in the P1 tier. And what do you think the pole time will be? I think the pole time will personally stay as it is. That was my first prediction in the pre-race talk show, was that Kevin was going to get pole without even making any single prediction. I think that's the only prediction I've got right so far in terms of podium/polls. So yeah, not doing very well in terms of predictions this season. They could blame me on that one. As Logan heads towards turn 11 now. Nicely done there through that corner. You've got to aim for the right hand side apex in towards turn number 12. Keeps it nice and planted. Is that pink race symbols. Looks very nice actually, and I hope he keeps it like that from when we race in Miami in about 4 or 5 weeks time. Here comes Logan though, takes a tight run in towards the final corner, keeps it wide on exit up to the line, and I don't think he improves that much. I think he lost, I think, a few 100ths of a second there on his previous time. So that is his lap done, and that's his qualifying done. We'll see what Arnold could do in the LP to see if he can improve, but everyone else now is on final run. Senna has just started his.
Yeah, so see what Senna can do. Can he get that second place wheel? I think Paul is probably out the reach for him, but I think second place is a possibility, as Alex hasn't rejoined, so he will be starting at the back of the grid. But what can Arnaud do? Obviously, Arnaud has some solid races so far. This is in the midfield. He's a very experienced racer. He's not the quickest in qualifying, but he does real good race now. See what he can do. Can he get in the top 10? I think the top 10 would be a good target for Arnaud in the Alpine, as he seems to be backing off. Is he? Oh, no,
yeah, he's running 100% ERS.
No, he's backed off. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
I think I was watching that. I think I was watching the 2026 qualifying lap there for a minute there. But anyway, let's move on from that. As I believe who's going to be next across the line. We've got the Williams of Marco. He's going to start a lap, so he's going to be one of the last guys to start a lap. So,
Senna's about to finish
Senna,
his lap.
He's up on his time, I do believe.
Then it is the final
See
part
what
of qualifying.
The final two corners.
Final part of qualifying here in the
P1
P1 tier.
Now. He's going to have just enough battery, I think.
Here he comes. He goes up to the
line. Looks a good lap so far. Can he go to second place?
No.
It was 7. Yeah, he's moved to third place. 7.777, but not quite enough to be Axelock.
We got Craggy though. He's going to see if he can get into the 1:14s, but it's going to be tight if he could do it. P5, not too shabby for Craggy. I think Casper won't have time to do a lap at all. A good improvement, yeah. Callum has just finished his run, so he can't do any better. Casper goes into the pits. We've got our pole sitter Kevin. Can he go quicker than a 1:14.3? This is looking like a very good lap. No, he doesn't. He does not improve, but I think he's still going to get pole anyway. Marco goes up to the... no, it's not Marco. It's his teammate. He goes into the pits. We've got Morgan, who just come across the line in P14, Mert P13. Marco, I think, is the only one that could challenge maybe Atslot. Well, we'll keep an eye on Atslot, because we've got Juan Williams that's just had a moment in towards the final corner. Luckily, it's not Marco. Marco is in at 5th position, the home favourite. P2 at the moment. He's the only man that could challenge Kevin in P1. What could he do? Could he find some more time? No, he could not find more time. No, Senna could not improve either, so I believe that's it. He's on the front row a lot for the home favourite, which is very good for him. He's going to get a nice run towards turn number 1. You want to be on that left-hand side line into turn number 1 because you get a good entry there. So Axlot starting in the best position, but is the speedster, I would say, of the league so far, Kevin, who's got another pole. I think we've got a favourite for the Speedster Award right there, which is why I called him the Speedster. If anyone manages to get the amount of poles he gets, is crazy. So, but Kevin looking like he's going to be the one that gets some gloves and socks for free.
Yeah, look, the gap between first and second is 4 tenths, so the gap between second and 11th is 4 tenths. That just sums up for me there. Just amazed that Barbarian. But his second lap there, his lap there, there was a 14.355, so he's 5,000 of a second slow. So he did 2 laps in the 14.3s, and everybody else is struggling to get 14.7, 14.8. So say, amazing that by Kevin. But I think Axelock as well, good job for him there in second place. And I think Lakitu saving the day a little bit there in fourth with a 14.8 as a go for a good for you. Got Kevin on pole, got Axelock in second, Senna in third, Lakitu in fourth, Marco in fifth, Robite in sixth. Good up there by Robite in sixth, I think. Craggy seventh, Logan in seventh, Arnard in ninth, Callum 10th, Casper 11th, Cullen R. Mason 12th, J. Colt 13th, Mert in 14th. I think he'd be disappointed with that. Got Morgan in 15th, Curry in 16th, and Alex, who didn't set a time, is at the back of the grid. We've got a second separate in the top 15 there, and obviously 4 temps that is just basically first and second. So we've got 6 temps covering second to 15th.
Yep, indeed. And I've just heard from Colin that his lap that he just did was a PB. So he's happy with starting where he is, because I don't think he could have gone any quicker. That was a very good lap, Colin. So fair play if you're watching this back. But of course, we've got the engine and gearbox penalties to apply, and also any grid penalties, but I don't think we've got any grid penalties for any drivers, because everyone in P1 is well behaved. So I will tell you who's got some engine and gearbox penalties. So we've got 2 gearbox penalties. Kevin will not be starting on pole position because he's taken a gearbox penalty, as well as Casper taking a gearbox penalty, Curry taking an engine penalty. I think if there's one driver who I think it's smart to take an engine penalty around here, it's Curry, because he would still be starting in the back anyway. It doesn't really make a difference. So yeah, Curry taking his engine, at least he gets it out of the way. But that does mean, Jamie, with all the engine and gearbox penalties, Axelock is going to be starting his home Grand Prix from P1.
Yeah, the whole Hungarian crowd in the crowd now being ecstatic for that, seeing their man on pole. Obviously, great to see. And what can he do from pole? Can he get that first podium of the season he's desperate for? And he's in a great position to do it. And obviously, I think he seemed quite confident from what I heard from earlier in practice. So we'll see what he can do for the race very shortly. But yeah, great to see there. Great to see Axelock on pole. But Kevin will only be 6th on the grid, so Kevin will still be a threat for the race. Don't count him out for the race win. Sign 6th. Yeah,
I think with him getting pole position, his gearbox penalty, I think it couldn't have gone better for him. Yes, people would probably be kicking themselves. They shouldn't have taken a gearbox penalty there, but he's going to get poles quite a lot throughout the season anyway. So for him to get the best possible result by taking a gearbox penalty, he would take that in a heartbeat. So well done, Kevin. I think we could see him climb way up the order as we make our way through the session today. So watch out for him. It is possible to gain position at the start. Salau, I think, gained 4 positions off the start. So it is doable for the likes of Kevin to make his way through. Same with the other people that have got penalties, like Casper. So Casper's going to be starting in the back anyway. Same with Curry. So we'll see how we could do near the back. So any surprises, James, of how they did, both good and bad?
Well, I think the good surprise has to be Axelock second on the grid, and also I have to say, also Robite 6th on the grid, obviously, but he just chalky made that race. The Robite sort of struggled this season, but great to see him 6th on the grid. And the disappointment, I think, has to be probably Callum. Disappointed for him, but obviously he raced at such short notice, maybe being a bit harsh on him there. And that's probably my main disappointment, but I think I maybe be a bit harsh on Callum there, but I think he's probably a disappointment for me. And obviously Alex, but it wasn't really his fault, because he had game issues sat in the back, but I don't think he could be to blame for that qualifying, because if you have game issues, then you can't really do anything about it. But I think he's in now for the race, so he will be racing at the back of it. I'll be sure to see how he progresses through the field as the race goes on.
Yeah, we'll see how he does, of course. Callum, I was a bit shocked that he was lower down, but again, he probably wasn't expected to be here. He probably didn't practice much, if not at all, but it is still quite a decent lap time anyway for him. Robite impressed me quite a bit. Senna, not too shabby from him either. A very decent qualifying for himself. And of course, Colin saying his PB, yes, he's lower down the grid, but he didn't think he can get into the laps that he did. So I think he was a good surprise. He could see he could climb his way up as well. Craggy had a decent qualifying as well, but we'll see where he can climb up. He was actually called to the driver's press conference today, and the press complimented him about his great performance in Silverstone. And what does he feel is achievable for the rest of the season, and what tracks is he looking forward to? And Craggy said he's happy with his performance, coming from P8 and P9 on the grid to 4th. So I'm expecting him to climb just a tiny bit, not as much as Silverstone, because Silverstone you can overtake. Hungary's more technical, so it's going to be more difficult. And he's targeting a podium, and he doesn't mind any of the tracks on the schedule. So we'll see what we could do. I like that with Craggy. Not hating any track at all, and he doesn't mind them. That's going to help and give him an advantage compared to some other drivers who maybe hate certain tracks.
Yeah, I think so too. I think also if you go in a mindset of not liking a track, then what you tend to do, you tend to think, oh, I'm not going to practice here. And you tend to just, maybe, I guess you do better. So I've at certain tracks where I know I'm not good at, I just tend to go on a negative thought. So I try to erase that a bit this season, for sure. But it is easy to get in that. But if you like all the tracks and it's good and you can just enjoy it, and obviously he has joined late on the season, so he's not really a threat for a championship or anything. But he can, you say, get some podiums, and it'd be a spoiler to them guys at the front, as Craggy obviously been the previous P1 tier champion last time he raced here, so he's definitely got pedigree, and he'll be looking to join that podium fight tonight. I think he's got a good chance. He is looking, he's getting back up to speed a bit now, and obviously he does race in our realistic championship as well. So he's had 2 races these past few weeks.
He DNF'd, unfortunately.
A bit more.
He DNF'd, unfortunately, realistic, which was a bit unfortunate, but not going to say too much about what happened in that one, because things may change, so I'm going to shut up. So luckily he can revert that DNF, luckily, from what he did at Zandvoort, so he's probably going to be relieved about that one. And of course, strategy is going to be interesting, Jamie, as we head into this one. Of course, the medians, when we both raced earlier on, we felt the medians were a bit not great, and I was speaking to quite a few P2 drivers, and they felt the same way. So I would suggest 2 hards will be the way to go, and we've seen certain drivers start on the hards, they struggled a little bit. So if I were you, starting on the mediums and then doing 2 hard stints is definitely the fastest strategy, and that's why we saw quite a few drivers do that strategy, and pitting around that 22, 23 for your final set of hards. If you hit before that, there's going to be drivers that will pit. Even if you get the undercut, they're going to close up on you, and they're going to try and get the race win. So that's a strategy to be on today, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you can get a nice undercut. Undercut is super hard on there. It's like 2 or 3 seconds a lap, maybe 3 seconds a lap if you get clean air. But it's no good doing undercut if you basically last 2 laps you just sit and duck. So you've got to balance right. You've got to pick the right lap to obviously get your undercut, but also you've got to make sure you're not leaving so short change at the end of the race. So I think a lot of guys, most of the guys who won the races tonight, I think 2 of them, they're basically offset on the final stint. So I think that's the way to go.
Including yourself.
Really I offset a little bit, yeah. I almost got undercut by a guy, but I managed to stay ahead of him, and that paved the way. As, that's the way to go. But I'm always surprised if people pick really early mediums, like lap 6. But if you do that, then you've got to really be the massive tyre whisperer to get them to the end. But these guys, I think, well, I wouldn't be surprised if 1 or 2 guys this year try double medium. Just try it. I don't think it'll work, but I wouldn't be shocked if we see a couple of guys in this race tonight do it.
I think if there's a tier that could do it, I think it's a P1 tier that is possible. And I know one of the McLarens of Casper could try it, maybe even Callum as well. They were called in the rivalries, and they're both having solid seasons, and they were asked if there are any team orders. And Callum's made an interesting point. At the start of the season, he said to Casper, whatever we can prioritise him, but we have been working really well during the race, and it's definitely a good partnership. And Casper said pretty much what Callum said, but yeah, we don't have a clear number 1. So if it gets to it, Callum said, if Casper gets close, Callum will prioritise him rather than himself, which is quite interesting and fair play. It seems to be in all the tiers. I think P3 in particular, both McLarens working very well together.
Yeah, we saw that, I think, with Quinneth, I think, holding up the field health and his teammate get a podium, which is good to see. And you see a lot of teammates now to communicate with each other in parties. And yeah, obviously it's work strategy, and some teams have designated them more than 2 drivers. Sometimes it comes just on pure pace. But you've got 2 guys quite close to match like Callum and Casper. Right? It can be track specific. It depends also on what's happening in the race. So yeah, it's good to go in with like different options rather than I'm definitely number 1 driver or I'm definitely number 2 driver, because it can flip on scenarios. As you know, all these races are very dynamic. So yeah, that's good to see them working together. And obviously, they're 2 very experienced drivers in the league.
I think very respectful as well, so fair play. And I think for most teams, they probably won't pick a number 1 driver until they get towards the end of the championship. If one of the drivers realises that their teammate is fighting for a championship and they're not, then it's obvious that they're going to prioritise the other driver. So there we go. Let's have a quick run through of our sponsors before we head to the main race action. Delta.app, you can use all your investments in one app. If you use the code !Delta, you can track your investors and become the number 1 investor. You can use the link in the description as well if you're watching on YouTube. Next Level Racing, the amount of prizes they can win this season is quite a lot, but we will let you know on socials how many of that happens. Sim Racing Setups, there's also a discount. You can use 5% off all Sim Racing Setups by using the code OneHubRacing. They have dry, wet, esports setups, and they also have setups by an F1 sim racing driver as well, so plenty to get your teeth into. Pure Sim Gear, there's a discount if you use the code OHR10B, and also there is prizes for the Speedster Award for the driver that has the most combined poles and fastest laps. Well, I think we know who's going to win that one, unless Kevin doesn't get any more poles this season. Our partners, Vespertine, that support our championship apparel and prizes and merchandise and all that stuff. And finally, to our partners at SimGrid. Without SimGrid, we'll be running forms and Google spreadsheets, and it will be an absolute nightmare. So thank you to all our sponsors. Let's go to the main race action. And Jamie, who do you think's going to get the race victory tonight?
Good question. Let's go Senna. Let's go outsider. Let's go Senna. But Senna will win. I'm going to go Kevin second for Mercedes 1-2. And let's go for home podium for Axelock in 3rd place.
That's what I predicted, and people thought I was crazy. But hopefully maybe Axelock could show it. The 5 red lights are on here in the P1 tier this evening, the final tier of the night. And it is action here at the Hungarian. Senna gets a much better start than Axelock, but Axelock covers them well. Lakitu tries to go around the outside of Senna. We saw maybe some bowling going on in real life, but it doesn't look like it here. Lakitu runs a bit wide, makes a bit of contact with Senna, and that's allowed Axelock to really increase the gap a little bit. So obviously Senna had a better launch and reaction, but Axelock had a very clean running towards turn number 1. We've got yellow flags. That is, I think, Morgan that's had a bit of a spin, unfortunately. So that's his race coming to blows. Robite's up into 5th place. He's had a good start. Same with Craggy. Kevin's dropped, I think, 1 place. So not the start he would have wanted, but dirty air around here could be an absolute nightmare. So Axelock, definitely the start he would have wanted Craggy. In P1. He leads this race as Craggy goes around the outside in the chicane, actually very brave. Past Robite into 5th. Another good start from him.
Yeah, definitely. Great start by Casper, up to 6th place. So Casper making progress through the field. And he's negated his big penalty already, so he's actually gained on his qualifying position. That's great news for Casper, up into 6th place. Fantastic start. And a great start for Axelock as well. He really got that launch underway, and he's in a good position at the moment, leading the race with Senna right on his tail. With these guys now starting to form a bit of a DRS train at the front, as we all seem to see at Hungary. Hungary seems to be at the home of the DRS train for me.
Yeah, I think we both were involved in the DRS train in our race as well, and it's just so difficult to pass each other if they're running the same wings. I'm almost certain the drivers that I was fighting with at the start of the race were running similar wings, so it was just so hard to pass due to the dirty air. But luckily, maybe with the F126 DLC or even F127, they will fix that, because there will hardly be any dirty air if it's like what it is in real life, which is exciting. I can't wait to race a much closer together with some cars and not having to worry about just being a little bit further back. As someone trying to go for a dive bomb. I think we saw Kevin trying to go for a move on the chicane, as we almost saw Logan go for the move there. Here goes Robite around the outside of Kevin, and Epic the Animal do the same thing. Kevin is seen to be struggling at the moment on those medium tyres, trying to get past. Only one driver on the hards, by the way. That is Jaco. But I think Kevin's decision, I thought it was a smart move for him to pick a gearbox penalty around here. it seems to me it's not working. I think the only one that it is working for is Casper, like he was saying, who's gained a few positions, but Kevin, it's not working at all.
No, he's just stuck behind Robot. Looking for him, Robot, I think he's still in DRS at the car's head, so he's not lost the DRS train just yet, but I think he's a lot quicker than Robot. And look at the move done is he was desperate getting the move done in the chicane, but impossible to really go for move there. You have to really rely on the other guy really sort of letting you through there as Axellock's on lead, but Senna is gaining. Senna's going to go for it. Is he going to back out of it? Yeah, he backs out of it. But Senna is looking threatening for the race lead. These two are starting to pull away a bit from the key two. He's just about hanging on to DRS and Marco right on the rear end of the Red Bull, so yeah, these front guys. Everyone's in a DRS train up to Callum. The whole field is in a DRS train apart from Perrod Morgan at the back, who obviously got involved in that lap 1 incident.
Yep, there was quite a few people actually, Jamie, that got involved in the lap 1 incident, which is not the best way you would have liked it. Lakita's almost running out of the DRS to Senna, which means I think he's going to be left vulnerable to Marco and Craggy behind. But it's one moment of actually trying to close up to a driver, but it's another even thing of passing a driver. It's going to be so much more difficult around this circuit. So I wonder if some people will opt to go for an earlier pit stop. I think you can't pit no earlier than lap 6 or lap 7. If you put earlier than that, then you're going to be left vulnerable at the end and struggle with your tyres. So you're going to have to really come in. I think lap 7 will probably be the more optimal time for coming into the pits, as we're on lap 4 of 35. Axellock still leads from Senna, but Senna's got a very good run in towards T1, but unfortunately he's not going to make head or tail of it. If I was him, I would save a bit of ERS until maybe the next few laps or so, if you think you could get past in a lap or two, which is probably what he's going to do. Yellow flag, that was Curry that's had a spin. He almost made contact with Morgan, but that's his race done, unfortunately. His engine penalty has gone from bad to worse right now, but everyone is in that really big DRS train. Colin's made it up a few places as well, I believe. Let me just check who's gained the most places out of everybody. I think it was Casper that's gained the most. Yes, he has. So Casper's gained 6, Alex gained 4 because he's starting in the back, Merck's gained 1 and Craggy's gained 2. Colin's dropped down 2, but of course there's some quicker drivers who were out of position, so of course he would start a bit lower down, unfortunately. But those were your positions gained, and quite impressive for Casper to gain as much as he did, and same with Alex as well. But imagine if he could have been up there without his disconnect.
Yeah, that was a shame, because I think he could have been at front with Senna and Axellock, because actually Lakita's lost DRS to Senna and Axellock, so he might be sitting ducky here to Marco behind, and Craggy's right on the back of the Williams actually. Craggy's been more threatening. Craggy's got great pace. Can you get anything to about the moving the Williams to the turn 1? You can go for a dive in. I think it's better of it. Obviously, it's a bit too early. I think these guys trying to position themselves for the first pit stop. As it's so difficult when you've got DRS on the car head. Does it go side by side around the outside? Is Craggy? Has he got the move done? Not quite. Marco just about keeps it there, but Craggy's looking really aggressive here. He's desperate to get some moves done, I think.
You can tell he's quicker. You can tell he's quicker on pace compared to, I would say, Marco as well, and he's just desperate to get that podium. And wouldn't that be amazing to get a podium on his second race back to one hub race? And of course, I think he's a driver that loves the league, he loves the community, and I think quite a lot of drivers like Craggy with how he approaches the league a little bit as well. And you can tell he's having a little bit of fun, as we can see the helicopter shot heading towards turn 10 now, as it is overcast to light cloud to overcast around this circuit. So we'll see if that's going to make a difference to the strategies. I wonder if that's going to help them or hinder them, as Lakiti's out of DRS to Lakitu, so that's going to help Marco in some ways. But let's watch Senna once more. I think Axellock, I could tell from the way he's running a bit of lower wings, and Senna is using just ERS to try and catch up with them. Yes, you could close up in towards team number 1, as Axellock almost made a mistake there, but Axellock always likes to run low wings around any track. I don't know how he does it, because I am on PC as well, and I try running low wings on some tracks compared to him, and I lose the rears quite a lot. So Axellock doing a very good job to keep Senna behind. I wonder if Axellock or Senna, one of the two, is going to think about an early pit stop, because I think that's what Senna needs to do, I think, to get ahead of Axellock here. If he pits at the same time, he's going to be a sitting duck. If he does pit probably a lap or 2 before him, then he's going to probably have a huge advantage.
Yeah, I expect to see Kevin coming early. I think Kevin might take it. He's just got to pass Rollback there last lap. He got by him there, so he's up to 6th. So I think Kevin might get overtaken. Yeah, I'll actually high wings. I'm going to let you secret here. I ran extremely high wings around here. If I ran any lower, I'd just be spinning in the middle sector. So
yeah, I want high wings as well.
Axel loves the low wings. I've practiced him. Yeah, I've practiced him a lot in the past. I know he loves the cheeky low wing setup. And yeah, if he can get the corner exits right, though, it's going to be absolutely difficult to overtake. But he has to get the corner exits right every time, as Marco and Kevin are both in. So I'm not surprised Kevin's in. Yeah, Marco going for the undercut. I won't be surprised if Marco is leading this race after the pit stops happen with the power of the undercut.
I think when I did the undercut,
Axel, no,
but he's not. I think when I pitted lap 7, I think I gained 2 or 3 seconds on the car that I was fighting with. That is how much you gain from an undercut here, and luckily I had clear air, so I could definitely tell you the difference of. Yeah, Marco's definitely got some clear air. I know the experiences in that race I just did on pitting with clear air and pitting not in clear air, and you're going to lose so much more time. So I think you just got to time it right. Maybe look at the track map potential. Yeah, 5.8 seconds. That's going to help him massively. And I think if I was Axel, I would think about pitting this lap, really. And Senna's probably going to follow him through. Curry is right on the back of Lakito. I think he's looking so much quicker. I would say in the middle sectors where he's quickest. First penalty, though, belongs to Mert. 3-second time penalty, which I'm surprised not many people got in any of the lower tiers. I was expecting more, but I think it's so much easier to not get track limit warnings around here compared to other tracks. But we have seen some drivers pick up penalties, as here goes Craggy in, and so is Senna. Axel stays out. Craggy not taking the best of lines going through that pit entry, so he's going to lose quite a bit of time there.
No, but it's so easy on one tyres in the pit lane just to go wide, and it's not the best, not the easiest pit entry going on one tyres, because it's like lasted long corner, so I'm not surprised to see some guys running wide there as they're all coming out. And the mediums are Craggy and Lakito. That's interesting. So they're going double medium. And Senna as well. So we've got a lot of double mediums now. So these guys, they're fancying double medium strap.
Yeah, you were right in thinking some drivers were thinking of going on the double medium, but I didn't think it'll be that many. Kevin's on hards. Kevin's in. That was a massive undercut from Kevin and Marco. So Marco's your net race lead of the race. If I was Axel, I would be worried here. So Axel has got to come in this lap, because otherwise he's going to be behind Craggy, of all people. So Axel has got to come in. Robo's got to come in. If you haven't come in, you're going to lose so much more time unless we get a safety car. You could tell, I'm just looking at Robite's pace. Robite is quicker than Axel at the moment on this lap, about 8 tenths quicker than the previous lap. So Axel is struggling out there compared to the drivers around him. As Axel, is he going to come into the pits this lap? Yes, he does. He's got to, hasn't he? So I'm almost certain that Marco is going to come out in the net race lead and will be having the biggest undercut of his life, and it'll be Senna P2 and Kevin P3, but you never know what could happen here, as we can see Epic the Animal and Arnold passing through in towards turn number 1. Axel is hoping for the fastest pit stop of his life. He's going to go on to a set of the hard compounded tyres. Marco, Senna and Kevin heading towards the start finish straight. I think they're going to be, it's going to be close. Yeah, they're going to be miles ahead. Marco's going to be a net race leader, but Senna going to try and go for the move. They make a bit of contact. Both of them almost going off the circuit. Will that allow Kevin to try and get them both? They're right on the back of this. You can see Axel, who's lost big time due to this undercut. He's going to try and go around the outside of Craggy. Craggy's going to try and defend for England here, and he does, as Axel was in the lead. He's lost, let me just see how many places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places Axel has lost just by pitting later than everyone else around him. That is how big the undercut is around here, and that is gutting for the driver that we were hoping would get a podium.
Yeah, you mentioned Robite catching him by 8 tenths in that. I wonder if the low wings maybe means his tyre wear is worse than everybody else. Maybe he's killing the tyres a bit more in the sector because he's less downforce. Maybe that's another difficulty with the low wing setup. And now he's got an offset. Now it's interesting, but the only problem is he's got an offset, but he's in a massive DRS train, so he's going to make it very hard to overtake, and he's got to kill his tyres in the day. Anyways, as Arnold gets a 10-second speeding penalty, I believe that's the first guy tonight to get one. So unlucky for Arnold now. He's got a solid race up to that point, but that 10-second penalty is going to kill him unless we get a safety car, which, judging by all the tiers so far this season,
it's Kevin.
It's very unlikely.
Kevin round the
Yep,
outside
Kevin
of
for the-
Marco into turn 1. That was nicely done. That was nicely done. I think... take back what I said earlier on in terms of gearbox penalties. I think him pitting early has definitely helped him now. I was getting a bit worried at the start of the race, to be fair, but why would I have doubted him? Why would I have doubted Kevin? He's in 3rd place, a net P2. And it's just like real life, Jamie. A 1-2, a net 1-2 for Mercedes. I hope we don't see this in real life for majority of the races, because it will be absolute boring. Unless they have a title fight. If both Mercedes have a title fight, yes, fair enough. But if one pulls to the distance, I wouldn't like it. But J. Cole's the only driver yet to stop out of anybody, but he's going to have to stretch it. Yeah, he started on hard tyres. He's going to have to stretch it 3 more laps, because otherwise he's going to be an absolute nightmare. So he's going to have to stay out for 3 more laps.
Yeah, sorry, you only get around lap 13, 14 for that, yeah. But it's really like Mercedes in real life, and the Mercedes in real life, they never have the best first stint, but by stint 2 is that to come a bit alive. We've seen it here now as a Senna on the mediums. He's trying desperately, I think, to make sure that Kevin isn't in DRS, because I think if Kevin gets in DRS, it's going to be very difficult for Senna to stay ahead. But Senna obviously on the better tyres in the moment, but they are going to wear out quite quickly, so it won't be too long, I don't think, till Kevin and Marco are back on the tail of that Mercedes guys. Nikita and Craggy are right behind these guys. That's not unreal. But look at Alex. Alex obviously started at the back of the grid. Alex is not far off joining this fight as well. So Alex is making very good progress from his unfortunate qualifying. So Alex is going to try and make a good recovery drive, try and get as many points as he can.
Yeah. I think it was a shame, of course, due to his disconnection, and I think he lost game audio. I think it wasn't a disconnection, he lost game audio, so, which has happened in quite a few instances on this game, not as much as previous game, but that must be very frustrating for him. But he's still having a nice one through this one. And make sure you leave a follow on Twitch if you haven't already, to keep up to date with what's going on One Hub Racing. And make sure you follow us on all our socials, on X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and all that good stuff. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, as Jaco comes in really early. I didn't think he was going to go on a next set of tyres quite early. It's going to be quite difficult for him for the rest of the race. But Kevin has caught up to the back of Senna now, and I don't think Senna's going to fight this. Nope, he is not.
There wasn't much of defence there, no.
I think, oh, maybe not. He was thinking about trying to go for the move, but he realised that Kevin is much quicker than him, and even on much harder tyres, Kevin is just able to just keep on his own and go into the lead of this race, which is absolutely amazing. And Senna's tyres are going to start to go very soon, as we have a spinner. I think Logan had a bit of a moment. Yeah, Morgan's also had a bit of a spin as well. But yeah, Logan has dropped down a few places too. He's dropped down into 12th, and don't forget the top 12 do score points in this league. Logan, I think, has dropped the most places out of anyone. He's not had the best of races either, which is absolutely gutted for him.
Yeah, now Senna is doing a job with his teammates, holding these guys up, no doubt about it. He is holding these guys up, and he's allowing Kevin to pull away. Now Kevin has broken deals with these guys, and now I think Kevin, I'd say,
he's a machine.
Win now. Yeah, no. This is a great teamwork from the Mercedes boys here, as we've got another spinner. We've got a Haas, I believe that is Curry, who has spun in sector 2, and yeah, Marco is getting so frustrated behind the back of Senna. I can tell by his driver he's getting frustrated.
I would be if I was in that situation. You can see Senna does not want Marco to get any slipstream at all in that Williams, and I think that's helped Senna forever here, as Marco's probably a bit frustrated that he didn't get a tow either. That was very smart from Senna in that Mercedes, and look at that. You could tell that Marco's just a little bit more comfortable on the brakes. He can brake a little bit later. I can see what Senna's doing. Senna's trying to hold Marco up to give Kevin a lead. That's what McLaren's did in the P3 tier. Curry's out of the race. He retired in the pit lane. I mean, that's been our only retirement so far, but I think if Senna is holding up Marco, that is, you can tell he's not driving as fast as I would have liked. He is doing a remarkable job for his teammate. So 2 tiers tonight. We've had one driver helping the other teammate out, and I think for both of them, hopefully, it's going to work in their favours. It worked in P3. Will it work in P1? By the looks of things, it is 2 seconds already. It's the gap between Kevin and Senna. I think Senna is sacrificing his race to help his teammate.
Yeah, it's probably why I went on mediums as well, because mediums are quicker tyre. It help them with a better undercut to get in a better position for this. It's probably this is all deliberate from the Mercedes guys, no doubt about it. And it's in the rules because it is the same team, so it's not against one of the rules. It is good teamwork here. And Marco surely has to send it. He has to just outbrake the guy. He has to just send up inside here, unless his race is completely gone. To go for it, yeah, it's going to give him just enough room, and he's through, and he should be okay. He's forced to send off the road up there, bit of contact, and Marco is through. What about Lakito? Can he send it? Lakito has to follow him through. Round the outside, Lakito is going to follow him into third place. Good move by Lakito. Is he sending it? He's firing this round the outside. He's not giving up, but Lakito gets it done up to third place there. Fantastic for the Red Bull man, and Craggy also gets in there. So Senna is falling down the order rapidly. I won't be surprised if Senna comes in the pits ASAP to put a set of hards on, but he's got a long way to go at the end. 21 laps, so he's going to have to try and survive somehow. But yeah, Senna has dropped off the pace massively
now. Look at Atslok's right on the back of this as well. Same with Roadbike. So with them staying on those hard tyres, maybe they'll fight back in this fight for the podium after all. And double mediums is always a risky strategy around here, because we know at 6 laps old tyres, that's when the tyres start to struggle, and that's proof in the pitting right there, as Senna's almost had a moment, as Atslok is probably getting a bit frustrated that he can't get past Senna there. And this is going to be, I think, an interesting fight. Senna's gone a bit too deep as we enter into turn 13.
He's in the pits.
But he's in the pits. He's going to have to pit early. But how's he going to get those like 20 laps to the end of this Grand Prix? I don't know. I could even manage 15 laps. So I think it's going to be difficult unless we get a safety car. Yeah, if we get a safety car, then it'll be absolutely fine. And yeah, I think we know who's going to win this one, unless he has at the moment. I think it's just going to be a fight, Jamie, for second place.
Yeah, definitely. Marco his pace, it doesn't seem too bad at the moment. He's sort of staying in the stagnant gap. He's got another yellow flag. That is, yeah, Mertz round 14th place. Not a great race for the Williams man. Yeah, he's spun around. There's actually quite a few spins tonight. I wonder, do you think it's the nature of the curbs, or do you think it's traction? I've noticed in all tiers tonight we've had several spins. So, yeah, this track is very difficult for traction. As Marco's pace isn't actually that bad. He's actually sort of gaining
time,
Kevin a little bit. Yeah.
He was almost
easy.
He was almost 3 attempts quick. He was almost 3. I'm looking at the telemetry that I've got on my Sim Hub software.
So Lakito's spun. Yeah,
Lakito's round. And as Jamie was just talking about spins, Lakito has spun. So commentator's curse right there. And if Lakito's got anyone to blame, it's not him, it's Jamie. So there we go. Unfortunately, I was going to answer your question. I think it's due to both. I think it could be down to the curb, but also the traction on worn tyres. If you're on worn tyres and you're trying to ride the curves as you normally would, or take the same line as you normally would, you're probably going to end up in a spin anyway. So you've got to be careful with tyre temperatures, because I've noticed in my race, tyre temperatures became a big thing as we enter towards the, in particular, the end of each stint. So I wonder if we're going to see the same for everybody else, as Mert has also retired in the pit lane. Senna's dropped down into 14 because, of course, he pitted. Craggy had to do the same thing, as he's just come out ahead of Senna. Maybe got the better exit there, still side by side. Senna's got the warmer tyres as they enter turn number 2. Senna trying to round the outside. Craggy gets the inside line in towards turn number 3. Going up the hill they go. Craggy just about gets Senna, but Senna's going to be on the warmer tyres. This is great racing between the two of them. In towards turn 4 and 5 now. I don't know how they're going to get those tyres to the end, but they can't afford to fight like this for the entire race, because their tyres will be gone at the end. No.
I say, it's not bedding them in for a long stint, is it? Definitely not. It's not the way you bed them in for a long stint. But yeah, they're enjoying it, having good fun, and yeah, obviously they'll have great track position. But I say, I don't have much tyres to defend with, so they'll probably be in the lead when these guys pit. But they're going to be really in trouble by the end of the race on tyres. So yeah, they're going to need safety car. But even then, you probably have to pit for probably a set of softs at the end. The safety car does come out, so it's not ideal. As Lakito is in.
Casper trying to go for the move on Alex as he goes through. I just missed the aftermath there, but Casper, he's having a great race. He's up into 5th place, and I think one of 2 drivers who have taken gearbox penalties, and it's working really well in his favour. And you want to have a race where if you take a car wear penalty, you would definitely maximise it, and Casper's definitely maximised it. I believe he's already taken an engine penalty already, if I'm not too mistaken. So yeah. I think let me just check actually. I'm
Come off
almost
a podium
certain.
last week as well, in good form.
Yep, he is definitely on good form. I'm just trying to see. Yes, I do believe he's taken engine, but correct me if I'm wrong, Casper. But if that means he's going to be a huge advantage come the rest of the season. There's certain drivers that haven't even taken theirs yet, so they got. Some people probably would have already thought at the start of the season as Logan gets a penalty. Some people would have already thought at the start of the season where they're taking it, but there's some drivers that maybe are not sure yet, and they got to think on their feet a little bit. We're on lap 17 of 35, about to start lap 18. Kevin still leads by 2.4 seconds over Marco. Atslot in P3, so Atslot still looking on course to be getting a podium at his home Grand Prix, which is what me and Jamie predicted. We both predicted he was going to get a P3 this evening, and he's doing very well to do that. Yes, he would have wanted a race victory, but him with the overcut did not work, unfortunately, and Kevin is just too quick anyway. So we'll see if Atslot could try and close up to Marco with that tyre offset like we've seen in other tiers, but you never know, anything could happen. But Casper's looking very quick on the back of Robite right now.
Yeah. You say Kevin's too quick. Well, actually, the past few laps, these front guys, the pace has been very similar. It's within tenths of each other. So I think Kevin needed that help from his teammate Senna, because he's probably on balance the quicker driver. It's not as quick as he was in qualifying. Marco's right on his pace. If Marco can get in DRS again somehow, then we could have a fight on. But I don't know if Kevin's just taking it easy or what. I don't know, but. The front runners' pace are all very similar to each other. As a Casper getting a bit leery behind Robite there, lost a lot of time middle sector there. I think the dirty air is playing effect there as Robite is now in the DRS of Caxalock. So
Robite's lost a bit on the exit. Robite's lost a bit on the exit of the final corner, which I don't think that would have made a difference much to Casper, because Robite did get DRS from Atsalok, so Atsalok is definitely helping Robite just to stay within touching distance, because if Robite didn't have DRS, I think Casper would have breezed past Robite. But this is a very good fight between all three of them, a fight for the last spot on the podium. This is very interesting to see, a McLaren versus a Racing Bull versus an Aston Martin. I don't think we would have seen that in real life. If I was an Aston Martin, I wouldn't get it on the grid. Atslot, though, has picked up his first warning, but some people have already got 2 warnings, so if they're not careful, they could be picking up 3-second time penalties, and that could really have put a detriment to their race. We'll start to see, I think, people on the hard tyres, if they got the harder strategy, go for their second pit stops, I think, around about now. So they'll probably pit around about lap 20, 21, probably 19 if they're careful. Casper's just picked himself another warning as well. He's on 2. If he gets one more, he'll get a penalty, which would be a bit of a shame if he does that, because he's running at a decent position in P5. Is Marco going to think about pitting? Nope, he does not. I would expect to see a majority of drivers pitting next. That Robite, that was an interesting entry into the pit lane. It was like a bit of Tokyo Drift in there, but luckily he did not speed into the pit lane, as Arnaud is having a fight with the Haas of Alex. Alex struggling a little bit on 3-lap older tyres compared to Arnaud. So Arnaud's having a good recovery as well, and he's not far off the back of Casper. Shame about that penalty he got early on in the race, but Arnaud's having a good comeback as well, isn't he, Jamie?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, definitely. He's having a good pace, but that 10 seconds going to kill him in the next pit stop. He's going to drop him way down the order. We've got Jake on Logan, lots of right behind these guys fighting on the mediums. Logan on 10-lap old medium, so he must be feeling very second-hand. So he's doing well to keep that on the track, to be fair. And yeah, I do expect to see. I think Marco may pit this lap. I'm going to predict Marco will come in this lap to try and get an undercut on Kevin.
Yeah, I think Marco's gonna definitely pit this lap. That's what I did. It was a bit sketchy towards the end of the race, but it is doable, and as long as you could stay and get within clear air, you should be absolutely fine, and it can help your tyres a little bit too. So I think Marco could follow Kevin in. Kevin stays out. Marco goes in. So Marco goes into the pit lane, and Atsalot, thank you. Atsalot comes in. He realised that the overcut did not work the last time about, so he wanted to come in this early to go on to another set of hards. He's learnt his lesson from the first stop, and I wonder if people gave him some tips there. So that's probably going to help him a little bit. We just saw one of the Hasses come into the pit lane. I believe that was Alex, but I wonder how that's going to affect the pit stop.
Change.
Wing change as well. And don't forget, we do have 10 seconds. Kevin's got a penalty. I don't think that's going to make too much difference.
That's huge. That's huge.
And Casper's got one as well. Never mind.
Casper as well. That's going to affect the podium fight. Casper's chances of podium have gone down dramatically of that. Obviously, he was on 2 warnings you mentioned earlier, so he's just pushed it a little bit too hard on the one tyres. Not a huge surprise. Obviously, you've got one tyres, you don't have much grip. It's so easy to run wide on these corners, I think, especially up the hill. That car looks handful. He's on the curb again there. He almost spun it there. Casper is really struggling. I'm surprised seeing him come in this lap either, because that car is handling very viciously.
He is quicker than Kevin on the last lap. Casper did a 19.7 and Kerry did a 1:19.9. So
Kevin's in.
Yeah, Kevin comes in, which is to be expected. Casper is going to try and stay out. I wonder if Casper's going to go on to another set of mediums until the end. As R now doing a bit of drift as he comes into the pit lane. Jacob, of course. Oh, Jacob's come in. That is interesting. He realised that the undercut was not going to work out, it seems. But I can't remember what tyres he was on. He was on mediums, yeah. So he could go on to another set of the hards to the end. Very smart from him. As Kevin comes out, and he was struggling a bit there. So Senna is your race leader from Craggy and from Roadbite. I have to say, my biggest good surprise at the moment is definitely Roadbite. He's struggling a lot this season. And if he gets his first ever podium in One Hub Racing, I'll be absolutely delighted for him. But he's got some tough competition. He's got Lakitu behind him. He's got Kevin behind him. And he's got Marco behind him. And Roadbite, even though he's on 2-lap younger tyres, it's going to be tough to see if he can get it till the end of this Grand Prix. So, yeah, Roadbite doing a cracking job. Craggy doesn't have to pit either, but we saw that earlier in P4 with Night Clear. He pitted roughly about the same time as Senna and Craggy, and those tyres did not last.
Yeah, it'll be the last 5 laps where it'll just plummet down the order for him. But yeah, it's worth a try, I suppose. They weren't really in the race, so you might as well try it. If it works, you don't really lose anything because of it. Because I think they won for like a 7th, 8th anyway, so you might as well try it. Might as well go for Hail Mary. They're not in the championship fight. And yeah, so let's see how he does as Casper's in the pits now. But yeah, Kevin lost a lot of time there. He's lost 3 or 4 places, and actually Mark almost had him there in turn 1 coming out the pit. So yeah, Kevin's in traffic here, so this is going to make Kevin's job
He's going to get past Lakitu though. He's going to get past Lakitu quite easily. Yeah, Lakitu does not fight him there. Yeah, he doesn't see the bother there. So, but no, I don't think anyone else is going to give Kevin an easy run for their money unless you're Senna. So if you're Senna, you're probably going to let Kevin pass. But if you're anybody else, fight for it. Fight for the victory. Fight for a podium, because Kevin is quick and he's got that penalty, and that's going to help you get that podium if you do so. It is going to be overcast conditions towards the end of the Grand Prix, so I wonder if that's going to make things difficult for the drivers on the hard tyres, just to get those tyres up to temperature. As I'll get the stops up for you, as everyone now has done their 2-stop race, so everyone can make it to, well, everyone won't get disqualified luckily, but we'll see if especially the front lot could get to the end of the Grand Prix. I'm still picking Kevin to win the race on track, but it's going to be anyone's game if you're not Kevin, if I would say. If Kevin just could get past Roadbite and try and close the gap there, I think it'd be a very good shout. But look at Roadbite. Roadbite's actually quicker than Senna here by about a second. So Roadbite's got to pick his battles here. Roadbite's doing a decent job. Oh, look at this. Oh, they made contact. Kevin's made contact with, I think, his teammate, I believe. And Roadbite's just like, thank you very much. I'm going to try and get for the move. Roadbite's going to try and go. They made contact too. Careful, lads. You don't want to do that, my friend. This is
but he's got a penalty, though.
Roadbite's got a penalty, so I think a chance of him getting a podium, unfortunately, has fallen by the wayside. And Senna, I think, was very lucky there, but that's helped Marco and Axelar. What an nail-biting battles that we're having at the moment, Jamie.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen Marco's in a great position at the moment. If he can get by Senna, that he could be on for a race win here, no penalties. And to say, he's doing a fantastic job. And yeah, Robite, a bit unfortunate there to pick up the penalty there, but let's say I've been very impressed by his pace today. Obviously, there was some rumours earlier on that he may have moved down to P2 tier, but I think at the moment he's definitely the right tier.
No, he's in the
now
right. He's in the right
motivation
tier.
going. He's got more used to the game. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was He was a bit unhappy early in the season, but now he's around here. He's a front runner. He's got race winning pace around here. Obviously, he probably won't win the race, but he's definitely got pace capable of winning the race.
Here we go. Here comes Kevin.
Craggy's got a nice gap at the moment. Nice buffer. He's got 2 Mercedes. Yep.
Yeah, we got Kevin that's got
Kevin's
Senna.
through into second place.
Yeah, Kevin's up into second place, and he's going to now chase down Craggy for the race win on track, but I think it's going to be plain sailing for Kevin, I think, because Craggy's on 9-lap-old hards, which will probably go a little bit very, very soon, and we know Atslot really wants this podium too, so watch out for him. Marco's picked up another warning. Tut-tut, if Marco's not careful, Marco will end up getting a penalty. Oh, just look at the fight happening near this double chicane. Oh my God, there's one. The McLaren has had a bit of a moment. Atslot, I think's dropped down into 8th position as Casper trying to go for a move here around the outside. Oh, as they make contact once more. Casper's through to 7th place. Casper's very brave on those mediums as Callum has picked up a penalty. But Atslot, if I was him, try and go for the move again, but that didn't work. But my, oh my. Oh,
Callum's
that's
on a
great.
spin, I think.
Yeah, Callum's on a spin. I'm very surprised that Casper's pitted for mediums. But in a way, not that surprised that he usually goes for the bold strategies. If it works, then fair play. But I think all this fighting has cost Axelot a chance of getting a podium, which is very unfortunate. Yeah, Marco's got to get through it now on Senna. And is he going to make it easy? No, he's not going to make it easy. Round the outside goes Marco, and nicely done from the Williams driver. I think we are going to... Yeah, he's got them. I think we are going to end the streak, unfortunately, with management on the podium, because I think in every tier we've had at least one management member on the podium. I thought it was going to keep going tonight with P1. Unless Atslot could get his act together, I think the streak could be over, unfortunately.
Well, it's a possibility, there's a chance. He hasn't got a penalty, but the problem is he's in bad track position situation. But a lot of guys head on dead tyres, so he's just got to keep a good mentality here and try and just get through, pick guys off, and he could get a podium. But I say Senna and Craggy, they're going to really struggle in the race. They've still got another 9. They've still got another 10 laps to do. They're going to be on 20 plus laps all tight in the race. That is going to be an absolute nightmare for them guys. But Craggy's got a nice buffer. Craggy's actually pulled away from Kevin at the moment. I don't know what Craggy's had for breakfast. But oh my God, he's absolutely rapid at the moment. And yeah, he's just amazing. Craggy's got to hope his tyres hold on, because he could be on for race win if the tyres hold on, but I don't think they will.
Honestly, if Craggy could hold on these tyres to the end of the race and pick up the race victory, then he gets my driver of the day. But realistically, I don't think it's going to happen for Craggy. Casper on Lakitu, I think he is being very bold and brave, but he's got to go for the moves. He's got to be bold. He's got to be brave, because if he just stuck behind, then you're going to lose so much more time, really. And I don't have the confidence to do moves like that, and Casper does. So Casper's got that penalty. He's got to try and claim as many positions as he can.
Marco getting on Kevin.
Yeah, Marco's getting on Kevin as Casper's one ride in towards turn 6. And is that going to allow Atslot to try and go for the move once more? Logan's in this as well, despite that penalty. So anything can happen there. I'm almost certain the podium is going to be Craggy at the moment. Craggy, Marco and Senna, because I don't think anyone else is going to catch up, unfortunately. But you never know. Strange things have happened as we enter the final third of this race. Who's going to win this one? Is Craig going to do it on 11-lap-old hards, or is Kevin going to put out the challenge like we've seen in previous races in P3 and P2? Someone who won the race over the driver in P2 just because they had that tyre offset. Oh, is he going to go for the move? Oh, my goodness.
Kevin I'm quite surprised. Well, Marco through just about, I think. Yes, he goes still side. Can Kevin fight it back? I don't think he can. I'm quite surprised Kevin didn't gain on Craig as much as he done. Has Kevin got damage or something? He doesn't seem as quick as he was earlier on.
I don't think he's got damage.
Yeah, he's got end plate damage, yeah.
Oh, is he?
Kevin's got end plate. Yeah, Kevin's got end plate damage. Yeah, Yeah, look, he's got left end plate damage there. That's why he's struggling. He's got wing damage, so yeah, Kevin's going to struggle now on wing damage on Hungary. That's probably the worst track to have wing damage on in the whole
Road penalty.
calendar.
Road picked up another penalty, so I think that's going to help Axelot gain quite a few
he's definitely out of the podium
places.
fight now, Ben.
Yeah, he's definitely out of a podium fight, and
Yeah,
I
Axelot
think
could be on for podium here, you know.
he's got no penalties. I think he's picked up, I think, one warning, and that's it. But you can tell he's 7 tenths quicker than Casper on that last lap. So I think Axelot is getting a bit frustrated that he can't get past. It's still not over for Axelot. He's got to be creative in terms of making a move. And he has a tyre offset as well compared to everybody else, unless you're Kevin, who's on 6-lap old tyres. But if you're everybody else... are you saying?
I wonder if Kevin got wind damage fighting his teammate.
Yeah,
I wonder if maybe he got wind damage fighting his teammate there.
Did you say he got end plate damage? Because I remember you were saying he
got
end plate damage.
Damage on my screen.
I think Robite made a bit of contact with, I think, Casper, but Axelot saying thank you very much. That's my position gained. So, yeah, there's a bit of a delay.
It's very congested in this midfield.
Yeah, it is very congested in this midfield. We've seen that in all divisions so far, how the midfield is just so jam-packed full of action. It's absolutely crazy, and it's just allowing the front lot just to pull away ever so slightly. Kevin has just caught up ever so slightly to Marco, and Axelot's got to be brave here. He's got to be absolutely brave here because he knows he's quicker. But I know Casper's finding just a bit of life onto his tyres, but you can see, I think, the rears and the tyre temps are just struggling a little bit for him.
Casper on the curve there.
Axelot's got some ERS to use. Axelot's got plenty of ERS to use, so he is saving for the long straight in towards turn number 1. He could sense for a move here. He could sense that he could fight for this podium. Oh, my goodness.
I was actually Casper's also got wind damage. So everyone's got wind damage. This is amazing how people got wind damage. Axelot now, he's forced Casper into 2 mistakes, last 2 corners there. This should be an easy DRS pass into turn 1. Yeah, he's going to outbrake him into turn 1. Very easy there, up into 6th place. And the 2 guys heading him on the 13 and 15 lap old tyre. So Axelot and Kevin had the wind damage. I think Axelot could get the podium tonight, you know. I think if he gets past these 2, I think he's on for the podium.
Yeah, and we both predicted in P3. So it is doable, but he's got to get a move on because we know that Kevin's quick, Marco's quick. Fair play to Craggy, though. He's making those tyres last for so long, but we know Marco's going to get him eventually. And this is an insane pace from Craggy, but I'm just looking at the deltas, and I think he's about 6 tenths quicker than Craggy in this lap, Marco. So, yeah, I think fair play for Craggy for doing his best. I think Craggy can still get a podium, to be fair, because this is a track where he can be on older tyres in the P1 tier and still manage to get a podium on it. He's like Alexander Albon in Australia or something, where he done most of the race on hard compounded tyres. But Marco's got a very good exit in towards the final corner. Craggy does not want to give Marco some slipstream, but Marco wants some slipstream. Through he goes then. They both leave each other room. Marco to the inside. Switchback of dreams. Does Marco. This could be the move he's looking for to take the race lead on track. And it's going to be tough for him. You do not want to make contact, lads, because that's going to invite everybody else behind him to try and go for the move as they make a tiny bit of contact, but not much, as Marco takes the lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix. If he can keep this up, he could be on for his first race win of the season. He might have picked up one at the start of the season. I might be wrong, but Epic the Animal, by the way, is past Casper up into 9th. So Casper's struggling. Yeah, he won in Spain. I thought so. I wasn't imagining things. So, yeah, there we go. But really good stuff from Marco. I think he's now the favourite to win this race. Maybe not on track, but definitely a net race win, I think.
Well, he's got a healthy car and no penalties, and his tyres are in decent-ish nick. Not the best nick, but decent nick. I think he's good for a win here. But yeah, Craggy, good fight there. Good driving, Marco, but good to by Craggy as well. Good to see. And yeah, but Marco's broken the DRS already, so yeah, I think Craggy knows the fight for the win is over. And Kevin, he'd be ruining that wing damage here, because I think he could win this race without that wing damage. Because how quick he is with a broken wing, he keeps up with these guys even with a broken wing.
Casper.
That is a McLaren. That Casper's around yet. Obviously, he had that wing damage. Going to pits now. He's going to pits now. He's going to go for a fastest lap point. I believe that's what he's going to go for now.
Yeah,
Casper loves the fastest lap. He's got the most fastest laps in one of history. So yeah, he's going to go for it again.
Yeah, of course, Jamie does our databases, so he knows the stats at the back of his hand. 66% front wing damage on the front left. So yeah, he's going to have to pit really. And the gap now between Marco and Craggy, 1.2 seconds. So even if Kevin tries to get past Craggy, I don't think Kevin's going to get past Marco, because Marco is a machine. Marco likes technical circuits, it seems, because it's quite similar to Spain, and Marco did well too. So I'm not really that surprised that he's doing well here.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, he just love it, and it's quite similar sort of way it's on circuit, obviously. And also, this is interesting. Look at Senna in 4th place. Is he helped his teammate again get a podium? Because look at that, he's 3.5 seconds behind his teammate. He's got Lakita and Axlock and Alex and J. Cole. J. Cole's in 8th. Out of nowhere, J. Cole's in his podium fight. That is incredible to see. And yeah, these guys are all close to each other, but Axlock has to get by Lakita. If Axlock can get by Lakita, I think he can have one at Senna. But he's got to get by Lakita. He's got a great opportunity here into turn 1. He's in the slipstream. These lower wings will help. Is he going to go for the inside? He thinks better of it. He doesn't quite have the momentum into turn 1 there. As Marco's pulled a 2-second gap on Craggy in the lead.
That's insane.
Yeah. So even with a broken wing and a penalty, Kevin is looking good for a 3rd place finish. That is incredible. Yeah,
Senna is definitely helping his teammate. If anyone questions it, Senna is definitely helping his teammate. That is respect. I honestly. Yes,
Alex penalty.
Alex penalty, which will help Jaco. If you're the one that gets a huge disadvantage from it, who cares? It's fun to watch teammates helping each other out, and it's great to see. You're not allowed to do the same if like you're on an esports team, but if you're on the same constructor, you can do it. And I have to say, Senna is doing a brilliant job, and Senna's having a lot of fun as well. Yes, he's on 18 lap old hards, but he's having fun. He loves the P1 to it, and he just wants to do as much as he can. He wants to win the constructors as much as anyone.
Give it another lap, and Real Bike Colin are how to win this fight. We could have a 10-weight TRS train for 4th place. Colin, yeah. And Arnold with 10-second penalty. Where would Arnold have been without a 10-second penalty, by the way? He could have been right up there. He could have been up there. As well.
Let's watch Colin, by the way. Colin's on for his best result of the season. I think he will take P11. He's doing very well on those hard sides.
Axlock inside of Lakito. Localist breaks. Oh, not quite. Lakito's run wide though. Axlock has to get his move done now. He has to get his move done now if he wants any chance of podium, and he can't get it done.
Nope, he can't get it done. Oh, no, he's not going to get a podium anymore.
Alex sort of ambushed him there into turn 3, and he's up to 6th place.
Yeah, and Jaco is in this. Who's invited him to the party? Oh my goodness, I think J. Cole's having the time of his life here. Casper gets the fastest lap, by the way. I'm still amazed that J. Cole could be on for a top 5 finish here because of penalties. I'm amazed. If I was J. Cole, I would sit back all of this. The Hungarian Grand Prix tonight has delivered some great racing in all tiers. I've witnessed in a lot of Hungarian races some dirty driving. Tonight, in all 4 tiers, majority of the racing has been really clean, and I just have to say, it is great.
It's been a great night for the Williams team as well. With Williams winning the P3
and P2
and P2 tier, and it looking like Mark on the final lap going to win the P1 tier. Obviously, with McLaren
it's a triple Williams victory.
Oh,
look at this fight. So, yeah. I can't stop looking at this. Jaco's going to try and get through on Alex. And he does. What a move for Jaco. Oh, my goodness. I don't think he was expecting that. This is some entertaining racing. I want to include the final lap in the Stewards Room stream. I don't care.
Alex.
That's a lock.
Axlock. And Lakito. Axlock gets through. Does he? Lakito fights back. No, the banging wheels. Lakita's got the inside line, and Lakita just about hangs on, and Axlock, I think, will be very frustrated tonight. I think he felt like a podium was possible tonight, but he was just left out too much work to do off the first pit stop, because his pace has been incredible all night. His pace in clean air has been incredible, I've got to say, but he's going to fall short as Marco is not far finishing now. He's approaching the final 3 corners now for a commanding race win. He's 2nd win of the season, and this is going to reinvigorate the title fight.
Yeah, because he was in third place after before tonight. He's going to go up into second place. So I think a few drivers in the back have ran out of fuel. But let's ignore that. Marco has never put a foot wrong all race. He comes across the line to win his second win of the season in Hungary. And Craggy on 19-lap-old hards, 20-lap-old hards, sorry, comes across the line in second place. Fair play. Probably the longest stint of the evening. Kevin gets third, but I think you got to give credit to Senna for helping Kevin get that podium. If Senna didn't do what he did, he would not have got that podium.
No chance.
Rikitu fifth.
No.
Axelot sixth. Again, he probably would have felt a bit hard done by. J. Cole seventh. Colin P8. Oh, he would say that in a heartbeat. Colin, what a really good result with this high caliber of a grid. I think he'll be absolutely delighted. I think he gained places out of all of that. Alex in ninth. Logan in 10th. Oh, there's just a topsy-turvy grid. That is crazy. I've already decided who's getting my drive of the day, by the way, and that is Craggy. Without a shadow of a doubt. 20-lap-old hards and managing to keep second place. Fair play. So, yeah, I will get my question in a minute.
Great drive for him.
Yeah, Craggy gets my drive of the day. There we go. And by the way, Arnold finished with 20% front wing damage on the front left and 73% front wing damage on the front right. And he still managed to get in the point. So, fair play, Arnold. But again, he probably chose the wrong strategy as well. But Marco, I think I'm interested to see how that reflects the standings now. But he is definitely a contender for this fight. We thought Kevin's going to be up there, but with I think the gearbox penalty might have cost him a little bit there, because I think it would have been an easy win without it.
Yeah, definitely. Marco will have gained 20 points for the win. Kevin will get 14 for third. So he's gained 6 points on Kevin there. I believe Alex got the fast lap inside the top 10, so there's no fast lap point for either of them guys there. So yeah, he has gained close gap a little bit there, and it's looking like a two-way fight for the championship now. I think Alex is sort of falling out of it there a little bit there, but yeah, Marco is keeping us interested for an exciting second half of the season, which we're on the way after Japan, as he took the race win with Craggy in second, Kevin in third, Senna in fourth, Likitu in fifth, Axelot in sixth, J. Cole and Colin Mason in eighth. Good results for the Sour Boys there. Alex in ninth, Logan in seventh, Arnold 11th. Good recovery for him after that penalty. Robite in 12th, I believe, ran out of fuel at the end there.
Yeah,
Casper in 13th with the fast lap point outside top 10. So Casper yet another fast lap. We've got Morgan in 14th and Callum in 15th. Not a great race for McLaren boys, and we have our DNFs in 16th and 17th who I didn't quite catch, so apologies for that. I do believe they were Mert, and I believe
I think the ones who retired in the pit lane, and we had no safety cars and no VSCs in any of the tiers tonight. So well done to everybody. So we have to pick our sim racing setups drive of the day. I'm going to go with mine in terms of Craggy, and I'm going to ask the question: how on earth did you get those 20-lap-old tyres to the end of the race? Did that get sketchy towards the end? And were you ever expecting to get a podium out of all of that? Jamie, what about you? Who is your pick for driver of the day, and what would you like to ask him?
Yeah, I'm going to go. I went with one Sauber driver last week. I think I might go the other this week. Colin Armate's 8th place, the best result. Obviously, getting a PB in quali as well, so showing good race. I'm going to say, well done, mate. Did you get a nosebleed seeing it being in that train for 4th place at the end of the race? And how happy were you to get 8th tonight?
I think he'll be delighted, I have to say. I think he'll be celebrated till the cows comes home as well. So well done to Colin there, and well done to everybody for racing tonight in any of the tiers. I think I was watching P4 and P2 earlier on, and it was some fantastic racing. And I was watching P1 just now, and it definitely delivered. So please make sure you join us next week. Next week, we head to Japan, and that's where the real-life drivers will be going to. So for the first time this season, we're going to be going back to where the real-life drivers go to. So that's going to be interesting. And honestly, if we don't get rain around Japan, I will be very, very surprised. We got to have rain at some point. Otherwise, it's just not on. So I'm going to manifest for rain. It's not going to help me, but it's going to make the races more interesting for the commentators for sure. So we got to have rain in Japan. What are you going to expect from the drivers next week? Because they're going to have the real life drivers to have a bit of experience from. But of course, they'll have different regs. So
Yeah, obviously it'd be very different driving on these specs. Obviously they'd be flat out for the S's and these cars, and yeah, I expect to see some great qualifying. Be fantastic. I love seeing on board lap of like Kevin around Suzuka, see how he just tackled the S's and the Degner corners and the 130R and the hairpin. They're all classic corners. The only figure 8 track on the F1 calendar, so that's something new. If you might see drivers going underneath each other while other guys going over the bridge. So that'd be great to see. And Suzuka's a track which I love watching because it's so fun. The racing's not the best. Obviously, only one DRS zone, but it is great to watch F1 cars give it their all round to Suzuka. And obviously, with 5 dry sessions, 10 dry sessions qualifying the race, then I think the chances of rain have gone off exponentially. So will we get some wet rain in Suzuka? Suzuka is obviously known for its cyclones and its tropical weather. Will we get tropical weather in the race next week?
It is forecast for rain in real life around Japan, so I think it's I think if it happens in the season 28, I think it's going to be, a replica, let's just say. But there we go. I think Japan, I always love Japan. The S's section, that's quite fun. Again, another tricky track to overtake. So, again, you want to have a good qualifying session. But I think it's just a lot easier to go for moves compared to Hungary. But you got the Casio triangle and you got it in the running towards turn 1. And you maybe got the hairpin as well. So you got more chances to make moves compared to Hungary. So I can't wait to see what people do. So finally, we'll have a quick run of our sponsors. I won't go into too much detail because I went through it earlier on. But big thank you to our title sponsor, Delta.app, Pure Sim Gear, Sim Racing Setups, Next Level Racing, and to our partners, Vespertines and Sigrid, and our charity, Mental Health Foundation. Jamie, thank you so much for watching, for joining us, and once again, and thank you to you all so much for watching. You can tell I'm tired. I'm probably going to go to bed soon, but there we go. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you. The next stream will be on Thursday for Realistic around Austria. We'll see what happens there. But the next season 28 stream will be inside the stewards room as we review all the incidents from Hungary. I think there's going to be quite a few from some of the tiers by the looks of what I saw in the chat. But take care, everyone, and we will see you on Thursday for Realistic. Goodbye.
Right.